The Honourable Doctor Jonathan Coleman.
Yeah, I'm not liquid, look, I was just very impressed by the outbreak of bipartisanship we've had across the House 2 nights in a row. So I would thank Mrs King for her comments, and of course the committee came to a unanimous conclusion on the first part of the bill. But now we're discussing the second part, and I thank also Ms Bond for those interesting cultural insights into the world of Geordie Shore. But she made actually some good points about UV tanning and exposure to the hands, and that is something that wasn't actually considered, but it is a good point indeed. But look, the wider point here, we're talking about whether or not we should have banned sunbeds for people over the age of 18, and people were unanimous on the committee about the need to remove that exposure for children under the age of 18. But then you get to the issue of people aged 18 and over, and this is where the philosophical differences really do come in. And Mrs King was very adamant, and she's expressed it here with the SOP, that the sunbeds should be banned. Well, there's no doubt melanoma is a problem in New Zealand, and sunbed exposure is a risk factor for that. There's no question about that. But there's all sorts of things that people choose to expose themselves to on a daily basis, which is a risk for all sorts of cancer. So there's eating fat, that's a risk for all sorts of nasty cancers. There's drinking alcohol. There's actually exposing yourself voluntarily to sunlight. So if we are saying we want to remove all risks, there'd be a lot of things that the Labour Party would be wanting to ban, including, I should think, letting you go to the beach in summer. Now, obviously, that is completely impractical, but you've got to get a sense of proportion around the problem here. And you know how many of these sunbeds there are in New Zealand? Okay, so Ms Curran calling me a silly man. Can Ms Curran tell me how many sunbeds there are in South Dunedin? No, the village idiot of South Dunedin, she can interject, but she can't make a constructive contribution. Well, I can tell her that. Sorry, we are being nice. Okay, I withdraw and apologise in advance. Not wanting to break my flow, so sorry, Ms Curran. But what I would say, you know how many there are? Look, listen up, Labour people, you'll learn something. 260 sunbeds in New Zealand, and dropping. Fewer and fewer people are going to these things. So we have taken this considered approach. And you look at the bylaw brought in Auckland, whereby a year ago they implemented this bylaw requiring quite strict registration requirements for sunbeds. Sunbeds have dropped by 20% over that time. So I think we've already in place have a sinking lid on sunbeds, because the regulations that will follow on from this bill are going to make it really pretty tough if you want to continue to operate a sunbed. So you are going to have your operators registered, you're going to have the sunbeds themselves registered, you're going to have to take notes in the manner that someone practicing some branch of medicine would have to. You're going to have patient care notes. You are going to actually have to screen out high risk. There will be a lot of bureaucracy. That's the point, Mrs King. So I don't think you'll find too many people are going to want to continue to operate sunbeds. They're going to have to screen out high-risk skin types. So people like me, I won't have any chance of going to Paul Goldsmith's sunbed tanning clinic, because I'm one of these Anglo-Celtic types. They'll say, no, there's no way we're going to let you under a sunbed. And so, there's going to be a lot of compliance burden on those who continue to want to offer this service. But it being a democracy, there will still be the option for those who do want to provide this service to actually do that. And what you'll find also, I think, is that with the, all this form filling, all the hassle that the clients are going to have to go through, and the way these things are going out of fashion, I reckon in a few years' time there won't be very many people going along to a sunbed. There'll be fewer and fewer. Now, Mrs King is just itching to ban this, but I want to hear the list of other things she wants to ban. And, we are not a party who ban things. Mrs Dyson, she wants to ban listening to me. In fact, she doesn't even have to be here. She has the choice to leave now of her own accord, but no, she chooses to stay because actually she knows there's a real point here. So look, part two, it's been a good debate over the bill overall. I'd like to thank the officials for their excellent RIS statement. They did a great job for that. I think Mrs King's been way too tough on them. They understand the perspective of the government. I think this is the exact right move. I think you'll see very many fewer of these beds in the next few years, and this is the right approach.
Lewis Award.